To tell us his future. We don't know what it's going to be, as I welcome you here inside our newsroom, Amy Fadul and Barrett Brooks. And Barrett, obviously, we heard the news that Brandon Graham retore his pec muscle, and it was triceps, and you're thinking, oh no, this is not good. And then he was still able to win the Super Bowl. So if indeed this is going to be it for him, what a career. 2 Super Bowls, a guy that a lot of people, maybe early on wanted to label a different thing than Super Bowl champion.
Yes, most definitely. But, this is a point in his career, was it year 15? Where,
year 15.
You start thinking about when you hit around year 9. I started around year 9, like, should I still be playing this game?
Yeah.
I played 12 years. And it was my kids that kept me going for the last 2 to 3 years. Oh, well, Dad, I'm interested in football now. So when I, look at this, and he's at year 15, he has done everything you could possibly want to do as an NFL football player. Made to the Pro Bowl, over 70 sacks. He's done it all from that perspective, and all with the Philadelphia Eagles, from coming in as a first-round draft choice. This is big time for him, and I'm anxious to see what he says and how he goes about this.
Here is Brandon Graham entering the NovaCare complex. This is the auditorium where they do a lot of their media, a lot of the press conferences, but also where they do a lot of their own team meetings as well. So you can see he's saying hello to all the team members. To say he's a fan favorite is obviously, we all know that, but he is a media favorite.
No question.
He is so well liked and beloved by everyone here in Philadelphia. It's not a surprise he has a couple of rows of reserve seats. I imagine they'll be filled in by friends and family members, maybe some teammates, as well as he's getting ready to make his way to the podium, saying hello to all the media members right there. You can't have watched pre and post game and not appreciated how he handled his
wrong
way.
end, D-Gun.
Exactly.
I mean, all that. From a standpoint that I've been doing this media stuff now for 10 years. In front of the camera. And he is by far my most favorite athlete that I've ever covered. I've had experience of really getting to know outside of me being an NFL football player, but more so getting to know him as a person and as a guy that I am now covering since I've been doing this now. And he is by far my favorite. I mean, there's not much that, you could say bad about Brandon Graham that he hadn't fixed, number one, or went out there and just showed that he is, he's one of those guys that you can be, inspired by as a player, as just being a good person, a good man, a good father, a good husband, just a good guy in general.
I had to go back. You saw Rube there sitting at the front. I had to go back and give Rube a little hug right there.
For sure.
But he is, this is it's an emotional day. It's going to be an emotional day for a lot of people here in Philadelphia, and certainly for Brandon Graham. You can see our crew right there, NBC Sports Philadelphia. As Brandon Graham is stepping to the podium right now, let's take you there live.
All right, I got you.
So Brandon's going to give some opening remarks for questions.
I'm gonna try with this speech right now that I got for y'all. First, I just want to say thank you to everybody already. But y'all know I gave everything I had in this, and I don't have no regrets. That's one thing I tell them young boys. Don't have no regrets. And so, first I just want to say, 15 years ago, I walked into this city as a young man with dreams, big dreams, a little bit of nervousness, and a whole lot of fire in my heart. I had no idea back then what this journey would bring. I didn't know how many times I would be tested. I didn't know how much I would grow. And I surely didn't know how deeply I would fall in love with these fans and the team in this city. Today, as I sit here, I just want to thank God because I know He was the main reason. That was the biggest thing. I love my growth, my relationship with Him, and just so much that I've shared with my teammates and reflecting on a career that has meant everything to me. I am overwhelmed with gratitude. My life, my entire life has been forever changed because of this magical place. To Mr. Lurie, Howie Roseman, Dom, and everyone in the Eagles organization, I want to thank y'all. Thank you for believing in me, for sticking with me, for allowing me to call this place home for 15 years. The loyalty, trust, and opportunities you gave me are things I would never take for granted. You gave me the chance to become the player I always dreamed of being. But more than that, You helped shape me into the man I am today. Coach Reed, I couldn't forget about you. You were the first to bring me here, the first to look me in my eye and tell me that I belong. That moment changed everything for me. I will always be grateful for that. To every coach I've had, from Little League to high school to college to the NFL, I want to thank you. Thank you for challenging me, for believing in me, and pushing me to become better. Each of you played a role in my journey, and I am stronger because of you. To the staff at NovaCare, great job, Howie. Great job, Mr. Lurie. Great job, Dom, on just getting the right people in here. You guys are the heartbeat of the team, because every day, every early morning, every late night session, or treatment, or weight room staff, I mean, everybody know I love to eat, so they always had a great food for me. They always had encouraging words for me just as much as I had for them, and y'all kept me going when the grind felt too heavy. I owe my longevity to you. A special thank you to Miss Kathy. Your kindness, warmth, and unwavering support for every player who walks through those doors. You are truly one of a kind. Carly, you know I can't forget about you. You made sure I always showed up where I needed to be, handled things with class, and represented the team the right way. And I want to thank you both for everything. To my teammates, my brothers, I mean, y'all are my brothers, because I only have sisters, and I got 3 of them, and I was the oldest. So football was one thing, or sports period was where, you know, I got some real brothers, and we all went to war together. We fought, and we fought hard. We celebrated the highs and endured the lows. And through it all, we built something that can never be taken away. 2 championships, 2 of them. We made history together. And while the trophies and rings are incredible, what I'll cherish most are the moments, the locker room laughs. I mean, Lane, one of the, man, him, Fletch. I mean, you know, Fletch already know how I feel about him. Lane know how I feel about him. Shoot, Jay Hurts, all them boys know how I feel about him. And man, them on-field battles that we went through, me and Lane, and even me and Fletch, it was just chemistry like no other, man. And I'm gonna always remember that, because that's what helped me in the moments where they called me a bust. And I can appreciate y'all in the conversations. JP, Trent Cole, them guys that helped me during them rough moments, and them lifelong friendships that I will cherish forever. Danny, Joe, my agent, my best friend, Danny, you know, you've been honest with me from day one, no matter the situation. That's not always easy in this business, but it's something I've always respected about you both. You kept it real when I needed to hear the truth, and you fought for me when it mattered most. I couldn't have asked for better people in my corner. Thank you for your loyalty, guidance, and always having my back. To my parents, Mom, Dad, none of this would have been possible without you. From the very beginning, you poured everything into me, your time, your energy, your love. Every sacrifice you made, every long night, every early morning, every moment where you put my dreams ahead of your own. I carry that with me every single day. You taught me the values of hard work, resilience, and humility. You showed me what it meant to never make excuses, to push forward even when things got tough, and to always stand tall no matter the obstacle in front of me. Every step of the way, you believed in me when I doubted myself, when the world questioned me, when I had to fight for everything I've earned. I am the man I am today because of you. I hope I've made you proud, because everything I've done has been a reflection of the love and guidance you've given me. To my wife, my best friend, my rock, since high school, you've been on my side. You've been by my side. 20 years of friendship, 11 years of marriage, and a lifetime of love. You are my greatest supporter, my biggest cheerleader, my constant source of strength. When the world only saw the player, you saw the man. When I was at my lowest, you lifted me up. When I questioned myself, You reminded me who I was. The sacrifices you've made, the love you've poured into our family, and the strength you've shown through all the highs and lows. There aren't enough words to express my gratitude. You held down our home so I could chase this dream. You gave me two of the greatest blessings in our children. You have loved me unconditionally, not for what I do, but for who I am. And that, more than anything, means the world to me. I love you more than you will ever know, and I am forever grateful to walk through life with you. To my kids, Emerson and Bryson, Daddy did this for you. Every early morning, every late night practice, every game, every time I got to put y'all clothes on and wake you up, Bryson, let you know that, the men wake up first in our household, man. And I hope that you learning that, man, because nobody going to go get it but you. You got to go get it for yourself. And so every game where I left it on the field, I wanted to show you what hard work, dedication, and perseverance look like. No matter what you choose to do in life, know this: your work ethic, your discipline, and your heart will set you apart. No one can take that from you, and I hope you always carry that lesson with you. And finally, to Philadelphia. We didn't start so tight, as you know. You made me work for this, and I appreciate you for that. Through the struggles, the injuries, and the moment where I had to prove myself over and over again, you never let me get comfortable. You held me accountable. You kept that chip on my shoulder. You pushed me to be better, and when the time came, we celebrated together 2 times. This city is built on hard work, resilience, and unmatched passion. And you bring the same energy to every game, every moment, every season. Your loyalty, your fire, and your unwavering support mean everything to me and this organization. Philly doesn't just support its team, it lives for them. And I see it, and I feel it, and I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for being the heartbeat of this city. This game has changed my life, but more importantly, this city has changed my life. It has given me a purpose far beyond football. It has shown me what it means to be a leader, to be a friend, to be a man of faith, and have integrity. While my time on the field is coming to an end, my love for this team and city will never fade. Philadelphia and everybody, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank y'all. EAGLES, Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. My last one. BG out, baby.
Go ahead and open up to some questions.
CG, when did you realize that you would one day become one of the most beloved Eagles in history?
You know what? Probably this year I started to feel that, because I, said that it was going to be my last year, and then started to see old videos pop up and what I had went through during them times, and just remembering those moments, and just knowing that I tried to stay as best. I felt like this year was that year for me, where it started to sink in, and I think that's why I came to this conclusion of doing this year, especially after winning the Super Bowl.
BG, what do you want people to take from your story?
What I want them to take from the story is, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And so for me, if you get another opportunity, whatever that opportunity is, run with it. And don't look down on it just because of it might not be the opportunity or everything you dreamed about in your mind. When you think about it, how many times, 9 times out of 10, when you worry yourself about what you think something's supposed to happen, it normally don't happen the way you think it's supposed to happen. So I know for me, it was an opportunity that I got when I got here, and then I got another opportunity when Doug came, for real, when he came, and that changed my whole career. Brought Swartz in. Man, I gotta give a shout out to Swartz too, because man, that coordinator, man, he kept me on point, just like Vic, same. All my coordinators, I learned something from, but that was the first one that really took me back, because that's who I had at the Senior Bowl, and I felt like I was myself again, and I can play my game when Swartz came back, and so that opportunity presented itself, and I ain't looked back since.
Brandon, sorry.
No, you good.
You have never been shy about talking about low points in your career. Is there a point where you were at your lowest, and who really took you beyond that to become what you are?
Yeah. So Trent Cole and them guys, JP, them was the two that really helped me in the time where I was at my lowest. When they put that bus label on me, that was tough because I didn't want to go outside. I didn't want to do nothing. I didn't want to. I mean, I got to give my credit to my wife. She got me back outside doing stuff for the community and just not just sitting up. She's like, do something about it, but you can't be just sitting in the house. And so I get it. And so I think during that time they put that bus label on me around year 2 to 3. It was tough. But once I was able to fight back, I think things started to get better for me. But it's about your attitude on how you persevere through. Just know that it's never going to be too high all the time. It's gonna be lows in there, but you got to try to keep it even keeled. You got to stay being you, because when your moment do come, I don't want to have no resentment or be mad or at anybody to where I miss my opportunity. And so I think just talking about it with my guys, and then they say, well, now what you gonna do? And so I just did something about it one day at a time.
CBG, how do you know when it's time to walk away?
You don't really know, because I mean the competitor in me. I had to really talk to myself a little bit to see, because of course I'm ending on my own terms, and I'm thankful for this moment because I am happy to not have the stresses of y'all no more, because the ups and downs of me saying some stuff, boy, and then next thing you know I got to live through the week and hear this, and it's like, oh, I can't watch TV this week because I said this. I ain't mean to say it like that, but that's how they took it. But those little things like that. I'm excited to get away from, but I'm gonna miss everything about it, man. Right now I'm talking that stuff, but I'm gonna miss y'all too, because we all got a job to play, and y'all made it fun. And as y'all know, when I'm done, locker rooms closed as always.
It seemed like there were times during the season where you were entertaining the idea of coming back for one more. Was that a real consideration, and what was the process like that got you to this point?
Well, you know what? If I ain't make it back to the Super Bowl, man, I probably wouldn't be up here right now. I promise you. I'll be begging to come on back one more. But I was happy to be able to make it back, to play with my guys, to put that uniform on one last time in the big moment, big stage, and to where we went out there and performed. It all started in, Vic keeping us prepared, the supporting cast, the coaches, our coaches putting in that work to make sure they relay the message for the week. And we trusted ourselves in that week, man. I felt like me being able to be a part of that was all I needed to know. I felt like my prayers was answered, being able to come back and be with them boys one last time. And I didn't know how it was gonna be for real. I mean, we won, and of course the competitor in me wanted to come back, but I know this. I couldn't ask for nothing sweeter than this, and I'm thankful to have came back and to be able to play my last game, like my coach say, with some integrity and play good at that. And so I can always hang my hat on that, where I played good in my last game, went out on my own terms, and went out a champion.
Now you're retiring. What it took for you to get back? I guess how hard was it for you to return? And there have been some reports that you retore your triceps in that game. Is that true? Yeah.
I mean, everything's out now. I mean, I retoured in the game. Didn't know I retoured. I just was still playing. And even when Nolan tore his, you see he went out there. I mean, it's one of those injuries where it's just a funny. It's way better than my knee and all the other things, but you still got to make sure you let it heal. And this time around, I'm gonna make sure I take my time. That'll give me more time to be in the building before I get kicked out my locker.
You alluded to some of the mistakes that you made when you were younger, maybe when you first got here. How did you go about maturing? We're talking a long time here, 15 years here.
Yep.
Who helped you? What made you become the man that you are now?
Well, you know what? Going through life, everybody, us as men, everybody grow at different times. I'll just say that. And I had to grow early because, for one, I wouldn't have a wife if I didn't. So you had to grow up fast because, if you choose to, take that next step in life where I had my wife, it's like, man, I want to be the best man I could be for her. And so I had to clean up some of my old stuff, my old habits, and to grow up. And everybody has a different time when they gonna do that. I mean, because I feel like if I stayed single, I probably wouldn't have did that. And luckily, I had a woman in my life that helped me. And of course, it's a daily walk. It's not perfect, but if you say I want to be somebody that if I said it, I meant it, and I want to be a man of my word. And so I had to start living like that. And it's just a decision that you got to make with yourself. Don't look too far ahead in the future because it's about what you do today. And what I do today, I'm gonna have some integrity about my decisions and my choices today. And we'll worry about tomorrow when it comes, if it comes, because a lot of people didn't make it today. So I look at it like it's a daily walk of growth, and sometimes you got to look back to see where you came from in order to see the growth, because it could seem all the same sometimes. But I know for me, just having that woman in my life helped me grow up a whole lot faster.
Nick has said every workplace needs a Brandon Graham. When you hear something like that, what does it mean to you? And is that something that was conscious, that you were trying to create that, or is that just something that came naturally?
I think it just came. You got to be consistent. Just like I'm sure, with y'all guys out there, on what you do every day, you got to stay consistent. And consistency is everything. I think it don't matter. You ain't going to please everybody, but I'm going to stay consistent on my energy I bring. I'm going to speak to you, even if you don't want to speak to me, whatever it is. Like, it's so much that goes into that. I don't want to fall into somebody I'm not. And so I think just working on that, like, even when I got to talk to y'all after a loss, I know it's coming. I know, but I got to stand tall through it. I can't just be a high guy and not be here for the lows too. So I think that consistency of fighting through the easy wrong thing to do than to go for the hard right thing to do. Because it's hard to stand tall when you know you're wrong sometimes. It's hard to stand tall when you lost a game, when you might have guaranteed a game or something like that. You got to sometimes eat your words, but you got to be a man about it and be good. And so I think, you just got to make sure that you stay consistent.
Brandon, we've spoken a lot to you over the last couple of years about your influence on the younger guys in the room, on Nolan and on Jalix. How do you feel like they rubbed off on you in these last couple of years of your career?
Well, you know what? They keep you hip on what's going on. Not saying that I'm old, but you know what I mean. Different times. It's getting me ready for what I'm going to have to deal with my kids when it's like, that's what y'all talking about now? So I think just being able to be relatable to the guys and but while still being me. I'm going to be me in it. I mean, I wish I could dance like some of these boys, but I'm going to come up with something unique and crafty that I could do to be with y'all, because that's how much I want y'all to know I can appreciate y'all culture too, and I can appreciate what y'all bring to the table. And, I'm learning to accept people where they at in their life. And I think that's the hardest thing for a lot of, I'm going to just say for me, it was a hard thing for me to accept people for where they are in life and how they celebrate you, how they love you, and all that little stuff. And, I learned that from my baby. I can't even take all that credit, but she always say that to me. You gotta meet people where they at, and you gotta accept whatever it is on how they love you and how they express themselves to you. So with them young boys, when they come talk to me, I really take it serious. I really try to be there for them. I really try to just be that listening ear if they just want to talk and complain about something. But then, of course, I'm always in to fix it. Like, so what you gonna do about it? All right, you complain to me, I listen to you, so what's next? And so we always try to go through a plan, and then we walk together. Because that's one thing I'm gonna miss, though, for real, because being on that field, talking stuff to people, but it's all fun. It's all good competition. But at the end of the day, I'm really trying to help them when we do go against each other, because I want their coaches to talk about them in a good light. I want them to get paid, too. And I want them to be able to do that for somebody else. I always tell them, return the favor. Remember that you wasn't always where you at. Like, even like a guy like, I'm just thinking of a guy like a Jordan Mailata, somebody on this last year where he don't know. And, man, I was just like, man, this your last year, baby. Just stay focused. Off season. Work your butt off. Hey, you going through something? Come talk to me. Come talk to whoever you need, whoever you trust. Go talk to him. But let's go. And then just the other day after we won the Super Bowl, we talk again. And I'm like, man, remember that day when you ain't know? And now 2 contracts later, look where you at. Make sure you serving somebody else. And so that's where I'm at. Like, we don't get there by ourselves. And so that's where I try to pass it on. Even this year with Sweaty, I like Sweaty. It's your room. I'm just here to watch over it. To see whatever you need from me, because I don't want you to think that that we ain't in this together. And so that's my way of bringing these guys to let them know it's your time. And like I just told Nolan, man, this your room. Look how crazy. Nah, you the guy. You the oldest guy in that room. So let's go out there. Let's go take care of business. And so I just try to be that consistent, constant, ear for someone. And sometimes I need it from my guys too. And them guys, and I will say that's how they help me. They help me be able to come to them too, because it's not just them always coming to me. I go to them too because we build a relationship.
What's the key to making it 15 years?
What'd you say?
What's the secret or the key to making it 15 years?
Well, you better say your prayers, man, because everybody different. Everybody body different. But what I will say is the relationships that I've built over these 15 years is just because of, you got to be intentional about that. And I would say a lot of people, some people don't realize it till after. And I've listened to other guys that left, and I've started to. I'm always an outgoing person anyway, but I've been more intentional on just. You never know, man. Like people always say, man, your smile lights up a room. So I always try to smile because you never know who need it. And now getting all these messages from guys and just seeing some of the stuff, the impact that you had on guys that that it took a lot out of them just to even tell me that. But I made sure I heard them, and I made sure I told them how much I appreciate them on telling me that, because I'm gonna stay doing it. Because sometimes you can get bored with it, not even bored with it, but just some stuff you do you don't think it means anything, but people watch you. And I tell just like I'm gonna tell my kids, it's like make sure that what you doing in private, you be proud of, because we all got something, but you got to stand on whatever it is you do in life. And so for me, I just tried to make sure that I just was the best person I could be, every day, bring the energy. And if I ain't have it that day, hey, y'all, look, I need you. And, Nolan will bring it, or some other guys at the time that I was with will bring it. And so, yeah, man, it's just, you just got to stay being you, man. Just be you.
Next for you, BG.
You know what? I don't know yet. I said I want to sit down and talk with Mr. Lurie, have some dinner with him, and so we gonna do that and figure out what I could do to be a part of what's going on. Because I feel like, as you know, we got some good stuff brewing right now, and I want to make sure that I can be a help in whatever it is that I do. And then, of course, I want to be creative on. I ain't got to be all in one basket, have everything all in one, but just kind of. Move around, but I don't want to just cold turkey leaving the game, because I love it. I love just the intensity of it. I love just, man, now I can send my goons out for them. Now I got a little different little lingo I'm going to say to these guys on the field, because, of course, I got to talk my stuff. I can't do nothing about it, but I can send Nolan out there to go do it.
How much will you miss trash talking?
I'm gonna miss it, but I'm gonna do it I'm gonna do it in practice too. Like I'm gonna be a part of something that they got going on, where I could come in, and even if I'm just coming to practice, doing something to help wash and doing something. I'm gonna always tell the old lineman what I would have did if I was still out there.
Do you have a favorite trash talking moment with somebody from another team?
Anything with Dallas, man. I mean, I'm always talking stuff to Dak. Dak be cool out there when we have our back and forth. But I like Dallas games, and of course big games that you need, playoffs. But if I had to say, Cowboys is always gonna be number one.
Do you know when you made the decision? What was the moment when you made the final?
Just talking through it with my wife, talking through it with the team, and then cried about it a couple times. And it was like this the perfect ending to my career right now. And I said, I want to be a man of my word. I said that this was my farewell tour, and I know I got hurt, and that's what kind of made me in between. But I said I'm gonna stand tall on it, because I don't know what God got for me that's ahead. That if I don't let this go, I don't know what else He got for me. I will never know if I don't let this go. So I'm happy and thankful to have been here this long, and for them to, like I say, to have believed in me for this long. And I'm happy on how everything just happened over the years. So I'm still happy with my decision. And like I say, if anything I could do to help this team, that's what I want to kind of come up with, and then we hit the ground running.
What does the sack of Brady in the first Super Bowl mean to you, and are you able to sort of close your eyes and still picture it?
Oh yeah, that's always gonna be a good one. Cause Michigan guy against another Michigan guy. I mean, that's the only way. I mean, in that sense, the way he did it the year before against the Falcons, man, it was like I was just happy to be able to get him. And it didn't matter who made the play. Like Fletch say, it don't matter who make the play. Just make the play so we can all, we good. Like, and so I just so happened to be there, but it was all of us. The person who took away his first read, that's the guy I need to thank, because all that stuff worked together. And it was a big moment in my career, and that's where I felt like things started to get even better from that point on. But it took me, 7 years? 7 years at that point to get there, and then to win. And then it was a back and forth game. 500 yards total offense, both sides. I felt like we both was doing good, and somebody made that key play, and that's all it takes. I mean, one big play in the game can cost you, and I'm happy we was able to get that. So it's something I'll always remember. And of course, this last Super Bowl, man, that was that was a great one right there, because we owed them from the first time, and that one stung. But I didn't run from that moment either. In that moment when we lost, I went to go congratulate everybody, Coach Reed, and as hard as that was, and I wanted to run because I wanted to go straight to that locker room, but I went out there and I faced it, and I think that's why we all did. We all faced it, and that's why I felt like this moment that we just had was from that. And so if I can tell any kid, any adversity you go through, don't run. Just face it and just know it's gonna be better. You're gonna be better for it, and one day you're gonna look back and say, "Man, I'm glad I did that, because look at this moment. This moment came back, and we did what we were supposed to do."
Take a few more questions.
You did on
Take
the
a few more.
field. Something that you're really going to be remembered for is the work you did in the community, always volunteering, always stepping up when anybody needed you the most. When did you realize in your career that your involvement in the community was so important to kind of building your career on and off the field?
Well, after my wife got me back outside a little bit, that was the whole point. She was saying, you need to do some community stuff. You need to be out here because it's people that look up to you. And of course, I went out there, started doing little stuff here and there, but then you started to see like the kids and how they react to you. And like I say, I bring that energy. You start to see how much you can really help some of the kids. And so now anytime I'm available, I mean, me and my wife got a nice little thing going where I just take care of my kids, and if all that stuff is in line, shoot, I mean, we do whatever. And making sure the house is good, we good. And so now I really make sure, like, it's gonna turn up even more, me being in the community, because now I got some free time and I wanna make sure I spend it the right way. But, that's community service gonna be always a part of our family, because I want my kids to know, like, this stuff don't happen by yourself. And, you gonna have people looking up to you just as much as I have people looking up to me. And you gotta make sure you do something positive with that. And that's the positive by, the people that's coming in the future. They the future. So I gotta make sure I give them the best and let them know it ain't about no money, it ain't about no fame, it ain't about none of that. It's about you going out there and doing work for people that been thrown away from others. And so, and let them know that they are just as special and they got some fire on the inside that they just haven't tapped into yet, but I'm gonna help them, and help them as best I can. So I think I thank my wife for getting me back out there, and of course, we got to make that decision to stay going. But that's what I've been choosing to do, just stay in that community.
A lot of
You
guys
talked about
who
being
face
consistent throughout your career. One of the things that has been consistent is the positivity that you've always brought. Where did that come from, and how much of an influence do you think that had on the team over the last 15 years?
Well, growing up, my mom, she always, just would say, just something like, don't be like everybody else. That's why I don't have no tattoos, I don't have no piercings, because I wanted them. I wanted tattoos and all that stuff. But, she would always say, be different. And, I know we didn't used to like to watch the news all the time because there was so much negative. So that always kind of stuck with me, where it's like, why we turning that on? There ain't nothing positive that's gonna come from it. So it's like, for me as a kid, I just always tried to go against, like I say, that easy, wrong thing to do, and that's pout and be negative about something. And it's like, all right, you know what? It happened. I'm learning to deal with it as far as like it happened, deal with it for a second, but then, all right, what's my plan of action to what's next and what's the positives from it? And so, I'm getting better with that because I be so quick to move on because when some negative stuff happen, I know it ain't gonna be negative for long, but sometimes I try to stay in it a little bit just to say I felt it, but then I'm always trying to find that plan of action for the next thing. So I think that's where it kind of clicked for me to just stay positive because it's no sense of being negative about it because being negative ain't gonna bring you nothing but more negative. So that's why I try to stay positive with it.
Last question, Dave.
There's a lot of athletes in this city who have gone through kind of the criticism that you faced early in your career, and it kind of leaves a scar. They come away from it bitter, and you always seem kind of the opposite. You always had the smile and went out of your way to kind of look people in the eye. Did you have to work on that? And where did it come from?
You know what? I had to work on that for real. I'm still working because sometimes people can catch me in a moment where I might be going through something, and it's like they might bring up some old stuff that you might have not still knew that you had to deal with. I mean, you still had to get better with. But I think where I unblocked everybody on Twitter, I forgot. There you go. That day. That was it right there. That's when I forgave everybody. I was like, go ahead, unblock them all, man. And so when I think for me, winning that Super Bowl the way it happened, that helped. But like I say, them conversations and knowing that, man, you're not gonna make everybody happy. So stop trying. And so as long as I make as long as my family good now, that's all that really matter. My close people that really mean something to me, as long as we can have conversation and get through things together, that's all that matter. Because a lot of people don't know me. A lot of people just watch the football player that I am on what I did, but they don't know me. So I can't be mad at them for them making their own assumptions of whatever it is, because you know what assumptions do. You can't. That's why I don't assume, because if I want to know something, I'm gonna go talk to them. So, and in this case, in football, you don't really get to talk to a lot of us, so you're gonna talk about it. So you can't really take offense to it. And so I try to help them young boys in that, because I know it stings sometimes hearing some of your guys that went and turned media and start talking about you, because that's the job, and I understand that too. But some people just not in that place. But now I understand. I don't take offense to it. I just talk about it. Might laugh about it because you might have said something that you might have didn't know nothing about, me included. So it's like it just happened. It just happened. So you just got to be you, man. You can't worry about what nobody got to say. You just got to keep being you and trust what you're doing is what you want to do. Don't do it for nobody else. And so that's how I live it, and that's what I'm trying to hope I can spread for my kids. It's about what you think, not what I think. It's about what you think, because you're the one that did it. So that's it.
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks.
Appreciate y'all.
Brandon Graham saying goodbye to the Eagles as a player, but certainly not leaving the organization. He said that numerous times, that he's going to have a conversation with Jeffrey Lurie. He still wants to stay involved, so I want to trash talk a little bit. We are going to look. I mean, here's a guy that is large part of both of those Super Bowl trophies. Talking about the strip sack, that will be something that everyone remembers. 76.5 sacks in his career. You saw a number of his teammates in attendance there at the NovaCare complex. His coach, obviously, Nick Sirianni there as well. Jalen Hurts in attendance. We saw Nakobe Dean in the back there as well. But Fletcher Cox was in attendance as well. So, there's a guy drafted in 2010, 15 years ago. And I thought It was really honest, Barrett, that he talked about, being labeled that bust, so to speak. And he took that to heart. And he talked about his wife and how she helped him kind of, get through some of those dark times. To think that that's where he was, and to see the level of just love and respect that he has been given over the last decade and a half is amazing accomplishment.
No question about that. Talking about BG as a man and how he, went about his business is one thing. but his connection with the community, his connection with the players, connection with the front office, all those things correlate into how we see Brandon Graham right now. And that's just a phenomenal guy, great player to cover number one, to know personally number two, but also how he, combines all his life and how football and how he kept, it's not just the football X's and O's on the field, it's the relationships in the locker room. It's how he gets guys going. He said he tries to go into every circumstance he's in and keep a smile on, his smile brightens up a room. So he makes a conscious effort to do those type of things. That's what it's all about. Being the best version of yourself you could be. And that's what BG has always done. That's why it's so easy to cover him. It's hard to speak badly about Brandon Graham with the guy that he is. Even what he went through, leaving Michigan, being labeled a bust, he went through the time where he was just, Xing everybody out of his social media. He called it a block party.
Yeah.
I mean, he blocked everybody. I can remember I was on Breakfast on Broad. He blocked everybody on Breakfast on Broad except for me. You know what I'm saying? He didn't block me. But he blocked everybody because he didn't want to hear the noise, but hey, the one person that got him out of it, his wife. She said, hey, I don't know, you ain't got to leave here, but you got to get the heck out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love the fact, that he uses all those things to help him be a great guy and get him back out and let him understand you're restarting. You know what I'm saying? You got an opportunity to get a second chance. And he took that second chance and ran with it.
Yeah, I love that he said, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and he is an absolutely prime example of that. And he's a guy that finished out on top with his second Super Bowl here in an Eagles uniform, only ever in the Eagles uniform. We're going to have a look back on Brandon Graham's amazing career, very successful career here in Eagles Green, coming up here on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Stick with us. Taking pictures with him.
Yeah, one of
You
my
see guys
favorite,
getting up there. You see Big Dom. His family's been up there with the Super Bowl trophies. Fletcher Cox was up there earlier with Lane Johnson as well. Everybody wants to get up and take a picture with their guy. Here comes Jalen Hurts, the newly married Jalen Hurts, getting up and taking a picture with Brandon Graham.
That's a smile, everybody. That's a
It is.
smile on
Listen,
Jalen
you win
Hurts.
one of
There
those
you go.
trophies. Oh, he's hamming it up.
BG does everything
BG's
great.
smile lights everyone's face up, and including Jalen Hurts, who I love that he's there. He literally just got married, so he's not on his honeymoon yet. He is there at Brandon Graham's press conference. I love that he just told his wife, like, we're going to delay this because I got to be there for my guy BG. But here, Brandon Graham, so many words of wisdom. I thought, you mentioned the block party that he was blocking everybody, and he said, I unblocked him. But I thought it was very interesting. Someone asked him, when did you realize how beloved you were? And he said it wasn't until this year. I mean, that's remarkable, considering how well loved we thought he was going to be going, leaving the Eagles a couple of years ago, and how emotional people were about having him potentially be in another uniform. That it took him, until year 15 to realize he is so beloved. But that goes to the human nature of him and the humble nature that he has. Brandon Graham, a tremendous ambassador for the Eagles, and I love that he's going to still be involved. He wants to be at practice still. He says he's going to be in that locker room and certainly be working out to get healthy again until they kick out his locker, because his locker, if you've been there, it's substantial. When you've been there as long as he has, it's a substantial locker at this point.
He said that, he didn't really get things turned around until Doug got there, and Doug really showed him, and Washburn, the linebacker / defensive end rush-in coach came in and kind of gave him a new lease on life, and got him going in the right direction. And from that point on, he became BG the city loves. It's hard coming in as a first-round draft choice and not being dynamic the first year. It took him 3 years to really get a sense of what he could be. He changed position. He was a defensive end, and they moved him to linebacker. Then, Wash came in and really put him in a place where he can become successful. So I love the fact that, he didn't know how great he was to us as media. You know what I mean? He was like, all right, I've been here, a long time, but I really don't know how beloved I am.
Yes. Well, I think the flowers are going to continue to come for Brandon Graham. Let's look back now at the 13th overall pick in 2010.
This is a 22-year-old Brandon Graham just weeks after the Eagles moved up in the 2010 draft to select him with the 13th overall pick. He arrived in Philadelphia with high expectations after establishing himself as one of the best players in college football at Michigan. Graham contributed as a rookie before tearing his ACL late in the season. The injury limited him to just 3 games in 2011. He eventually moved from defensive end to outside linebacker in 2013 in defensive coordinator Billy Davis's 3-4 scheme. Graham struggled to find his footing, making just 1 total start in the 2013 and 2014 seasons. Criticism mounted, and the dreaded bust label began to surface as a portion of the fan base complained that the team should have drafted All-Pro safety Earl Thomas, who was selected by the Seahawks 1 pick after the Eagles took Graham. But Brandon Graham stayed the course, re-signing with the Eagles in 2015 and moving back to defensive end in 2016 when Jim Schwartz arrived as the Eagles' new defensive coordinator. The 2016 season proved to be pivotal as Graham started all 16 games and was named a second-team All-Pro. He registered a team-leading 9.5 sacks in 2017, helping lead the Eagles to Super Bowl 52, where he delivered arguably the biggest defensive play in franchise history. Graham's strip sack of Tom Brady secured the Eagles' first-ever Super Bowl championship and cemented his legendary status in Philadelphia. He went on to start every game from 2018 to 2020 and signed a $40 million contract in 2019. Graham had proven the doubters wrong, and he took extra enjoyment in proving his good friend Derek Gunn wrong as well. Graham earned his first Pro Bowl selection in 2020, and he was one of the veterans expected to lead the way as the Nick Sirianni era began in 2021. But Graham tore his Achilles in the second game of the season. He was 33 years old, and it was fair to wonder if he'd ever be the same. Turns out he was better than ever in 2022. Graham returned from his injury to register a career-high 11.5 sacks helping the Eagles to another Super Bowl appearance. But Graham's best accomplishment of 2022, being the Eagles nominee for the NFL's Walter Payton Man of the Year Award for his outstanding work in the community. Graham signed a one-year deal to return for his 14th season with the Eagles in 2023. He set a franchise record for most games played, and after the Eagles' playoff loss to the Bucs, he expressed his desire to return for a 15th season.
It'll be my farewell tour next year, you know what I'm saying? If the Eagles want me to do it one more time, I would love to be here for another year because I know we got something special. And, 15, my farewell tour, I'll be done next year.
Graham got his wish, returning for season 15, and his premonition about the Eagles having something special was right on target. Graham turned back the clock in 2024, recording 20 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, and 3.5 sacks in the first 11 games of the season. He picked up another big honor off the field, earning his second career Walter Payton Man of the Year nomination, but his regular season came to an abrupt end in November, again due to injury, this time a torn triceps.
Yeah, man, I just needed this right here. I needed to get this out. It's been a while since I cried, man, and I just, this one was the one right here. This was the one.
But Graham refused to give up on his season, working his way back for one last game in Super Bowl 59. He played 13 snaps in the Eagles' 40-22 win over Kansas City and joined teammates Lane Johnson, Jake Elliott, and Rick Lovato as Philadelphia's first two-time world champions in half a century.
It's about us being gritty. We're going to stay gritty. We're going to stay working. I'm going to always be a part of Philly no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so thankful to have been here, and I love y'all.
Later, we discovered that Graham retore his triceps in the Super Bowl, an injury that eventually pushed him toward retirement. He departs as one of the franchise's all-time greats, the third most sacks in team history, a two-time Super Bowl champion, and future Eagles Hall of Famer, a player and a man who for 15 years represented what it means to be a Philadelphia Eagle. Michael Barkan, NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Great look back at Brandon Graham's career. You saw a number of his teammates, Fletcher Cox, Lane Johnson, both there. Those guys were teammates for over a decade. Jalen Hurts was there, not with his wife yet, just his fiancée, but they were there in attendance. And I think that says a lot about who Brandon Graham is, that all these guys came to support him on his retirement press conference.
No question, because he is Mr. Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He is the Eagle. And if you want to pattern any player after somebody that, really embarks on what it is to be a Philadelphia Eagle, it has to be Brandon Graham.
BG, still going to be around the organization. He really impressed
Wrong again,
that.
D-Gun.
Wrong again, D-Gun. I can just hear that. I hear that sometimes. And I also see the strip sack also when I close my eyes sometimes too.
Yep.
All right, we're going to take another quick timeout as we continue to look back on Brandon Graham's career. Stick with us here on NBC Sports Philadelphia. as we look back on Brandon Graham's career, 13th overall pick in 2010. It was no surprise. As soon as he got to the mic and said hello, he's flanked by both Lombardi trophies that he had a huge part in helping win, especially the first one with the strip sack of Tom Brady. I think everybody remembers that one. It's on more posters. I've seen it on tattoos, a lot of people, but he got emotional from the jump. And I think that's exactly Brandon Graham. He said some parting words for a lot of people I think you can take away just in life, and said just to be yourself, and that's exactly who he was.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, just, you know, he affected me too. I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years now, but the first guy that I ever interviewed was BG, you know, go over to the NovaCare, and I was working with one of our producers, Ice, what's up, bro? And, you know, we kind of had a little mix up, and he was like, hey, man, you want to get in this, man, you got to work at it. You got to work at it. And I've been working at it ever since then. So appreciate you, BG. Appreciate you.
He had some good advice also to some of the fellow players out there, you know, talking about just try to kind of, I don't know, filter through the noise. Still listen to it. And he said, you know, he has a new relationship with the media over the years.
Well, he's going to be media.
Yeah, he's definitely impressed upon people that he wants to stay involved in this Eagles organization. He's going to be in the locker room. He's going to be at practices. They asked him about he's going to miss trash talk, and he said he's still going to trash talk to some of the old Eagles players.
What he could have done or what he would have done.
Exactly. Give him a little bit of advice and maybe things that he would do. But I think everybody, certainly in the media, has a favorite Brandon Graham story. I have seen him out and about over the number of years, and his smile is one that will always resonate with me.
BG, love you, bro.
Every time I see him. Like, we've been in the town almost the same amount of time. So BG going out on top. Couldn't have happened to a better guy to go out with a Super Bowl trophy. 2 of them. For Barrett Brooks, I'm Amy Fiddle. We'll have much more on this coming up at 6 o'clock on Birds Huddle and continuing coverage on NBC Sports Philadelphia.com. Thanks so much for joining us for the special announcement of Brandon Graham's retirement.